Hello everybody, this is Saxon Math, Course 1, Lesson 106. It is two-step equations. So when you guys recognize that we've been using one-step equations for most of the year, since Lesson 3 actually, one-step equations are simply adding 2 plus some unknown equals 4. So we know that that takes just one step. We know that it requires us, if we wanted to figure this out, the unknown would be just 2. We know that it's 2 because there's only one thing that needs to be replaced here. In the two-step equation, we actually have to do a couple of things here. Yeah, you have to, in this case, you would end up adding 1 to this side, and because it's equal, we're going to add 1 here. You get this new equation, 3n equals 21. Now we're at one more step. So this was 2 steps. Here's the first step, was doing this. That's step 1. And then here's step 2. So technically it's a 2-step problem. So since 3n equals the same as 3 times n, and 3n equals 21, we know that n is going to equal 7. And how do I know that? Because I know if I take 3n equals 21, and I divide this by 3, and I have to do the same thing because it says it's equal. Because it says it's equal, I need to do the same thing to both sides. N equals 21 divided by 3. And hopefully you know what n equals. N equals 7 in that case. So, and you can check by substitution. All you have to do is plug that value of n back into the original equation. So the original equation was 3n minus 1 equals 20. And if I plug in the value of n, which we now know is 7, 3 times 7 minus 1 equals 20. If we check it, this side should be the same as this side. So here's one side and here's the other side. If I do this multiplication, I get 21 minus 1. And yes, that's 20. So that means this side equals this side, and it is true. Makes that work. Here's another, here's the same problem. So if you have 3n minus 1 equals 20, again, let me just run through this. I add 1 to this side to make that 3n plus or minus 0, right? So if I add 1 here, I have to add 1 to this side to continue to make this a true statement in that both sides are equal. So I would have 3n equals 21. That's the new part. So that's step 1, remember. And then I'm going to divide this by 3 because I see these are multiplication. So to get this 3 to disappear essentially, which turns it into a 1 times n, I need to divide it by 3, and I need to divide this side by 3. So now I have n equals 7. All right, let's try a few of these. So if I have 3n plus 1 equals 16. Go ahead and try that on your own. All right, for A, I'm just going to rewrite the problem. So if you have a piece of paper and you're rewriting this, this is what you should be doing. 3n plus 1 equals 16. I'm going to subtract that 1. So I'm going to take 1 away from this side. I'm also going to take 1 away from this side. And it results in a new problem. Now I have 3n equals 15. 16 minus 1 is 15. But now I need to divide that piece. I'm going to divide this by 3, and then divide this side by 3. So that means n by itself, because 1 times n equals 15 divided by 3. That means n should equal 5. So my answer here, n equals 5. All right. And if I want to double check that, I just substitute 5 in for n. So that would be 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. The answer is correct. Let's go on to letter B here. 2x minus 1 equals 9. For letter B, go ahead and answer it on your own. I'm going to start by rewriting this. 2x minus 1 equals 9. And in this case, I want to add 1 because you see it's an inverse operation. I need to take an addition 1 to make that disappear essentially. And now I have 2x equals 10. And that means now I have to divide this by 2. I'm going to divide this by 2. This turns into 1. This turns into x equals 10 divided by 2. So in that case, the answer is x equals 5. Look at that, same answer as what we had up here, but x is the value that they used, or the letter that they used for that value. X equals 5. Plug it back in. 2 times 5 is 10, minus 1 would be 9. So you'd be correct if you answered it that way. All right, let's do letter C. Go ahead and do that on your own. 3y minus 2 equals 22. Start by writing the problem. So you have 3y minus 2 equals 22. First step is, it looks like I'm going to use an addition. I'm going to use add 2 to make that go away. And I don't need an equal sign there, but I need to add 2 to this side because it's equal. Because it's equal, I also have to add 2. When I add 2 to that, it makes those things disappear. Now all I have left on this side is 3y equals 24. This disappears. And now I need to divide this other piece. So when I divide that, I end up dividing this by 3 and divide this by 3 because I need to continue the equal equation. It has to be fair on both sides. So now I have y equals 24 divided by 3. And when I get that, hopefully you know that y equals, in this case, 8 then. So that would be your answer for letter C. Y equals 8. And again, you just plug in the value. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 minus 2 is 22. All right, let's go on to letter D. Go ahead and answer 5m plus 3 equals 33. So for D, I need to do 5m plus 3 equals 33. I need to rewrite this. If you're not using a piece of paper, you need to get one out, use a pencil, and rewrite every problem every time you work through them. So it looks like I'm going to subtract here because this is an addition of 3. So I want to take away 3 because I want this piece to be 0. I want m to be isolated on one side of the equation. And the way that happens, I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. So now I end up with this new equation, 5. Let me rewrite that for us. 5m equals 30. 33 minus 3 is 30 because this disappears and this turns into 30. Now in order to get this m by itself, I need to divide by 5 on this side and I need to divide by 5 on this side. So that means m is going to equal 6. So in this case, m equals 6. That's the answer. I want to double check by substituting m, 6 for m. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 3 makes 33. That's right. All right, let's do this next one here. Letter E. If you have 4w minus 1 equals 35. Go ahead and do that. 4w minus 1 equals 35. I need to, looks like I'm going to add. So I'm going to add one here. I'm going to add one here. Why? Because this is a -1. So because it's a -1, I want that. Now I'm going to have 4w equals 36. And I need to divide by 4 because it's times 4. I'm going to divide by 4. This gets that into, turns it into 1, essentially. 1 over 1 is the same as 1. And what's 1 times anything? Anything. So 1 times w means it's just w. I need to do the same thing to the other side. Remember, I divided by 4 over here. I have to divide by 4 over here. So now I have w equals 36 divided by 4. W now equals 9. So that means this is our answer. And I want to double check my answer by plugging in 9 for that. So 4 times 9 is 36. 36 minus 1 is 35. That's correct. All right, and this last one, F 7a plus 4 equals 25. So again, 7a plus 4 equals 25. So it looks like I'm going to subtract. I need to take away 4. I'm going to subtract 4 from this side because it's equal. Remember, it's equal. So once I do that, now I get a new equation, 7a equals 21. Because that disappeared, now it's just 7a plus 0. See that? There's nothing. So 7a plus nothing is just 7a. And it's equal to 21. But now I need to divide this side by 7 because it's times 7, and this side by 7. And now I have a equals 21 divided by 7. A equals 3. So in that case, my answer is a equals 3. And I want to plug that value back in here. 7 times 3 is 21. And 21 plus 4 is 25. All right, now you guys go ahead and try these problems. 4n plus 2 equals 30. Solving for n, what is n's value going to be? Remember, it's a two-part equation, two-step equations here. So you need to obviously subtract something and then add or add something to both sides, and then divide, or looks like you're going to divide on all of them actually. So you're either going to add or subtract for the first step, and you need to know how much. And then you're going to divide by a certain number, and you need to know how much you divide by to get your final value. All right, good luck with that. Get it done by midnight and post that, and have a great night.